What's happening with the peeps? Tap back in with y'all again on Project C10. Big block gang out here. Got a little bit of work done over the weekend. I didn't get to record it. I was a one-man show, as I am most of the time. No, I take that back. I had my secret weapon with me on Saturday. It was team solo come Sunday. So, yeah. Anyway, got the engine almost fully assembled. I got the cylinder heads torqued down. I checked the a degree to cam. I checked the compression ratio on it, got all the numbers crunched and munched on that thing. Sitting right at 10 to 1 on the compression ratio on this. Torqued the heads down. It was something else I had to do. I had to check the deck clearance, that's what it was. And on this deal, the pistons are sitting 25 thousandths in the hole. One thing that I didn't know, because this is my first big block build, a whole lot of guys go in and get the block zero deck to bring the pistons right flush with the top of the block. That gives you a good sealing surface. On top of that, it brings your compression ratio up, which in turn gives you a little bit more power. I didn't know this starting out, so I'm at where I'm at, but still 10 to 1 compression. That's pretty good for the street, and I can still put pump gas in it, so we're gonna roll with that. Now, the one thing that I did run across is that degree in the cam in, I'm sitting at a 100-degree center line. The cam spec on this one is 108. Now, what I forgot when I was putting this timing chain in, I intentionally went in there and advanced the cam timing. What I neglected to realize was that most of these cam manufacturers already engineer 4 degrees of advance already in there from the jump. So that's how I ended up with 100 when it should be 108. So when I go in here and check the piston to valve clearance, it should be 100 thousandths, at least 100 thousandths on the exhaust, because it's the hot valve, and then 80 on the intake valve because it's the cold valve. Lord willing, I'm sitting there. If not, I'm going to have to go back in there and retard the cam timing and then go back and recheck it, but we'll see. I had stopped at the hardware store and picked up my springs. I don't know if you guys have ever checked piston and valve clearance, but one way of doing it, if you ain't wanting to use that silly putty, is to get you some light duty springs or whatever. Bring the piston up the top dead center on number 1. Put some air in the cylinder, and then pop the retainers and all that off. Take the springs you're normally going to run on the engine, and put 2 of these on there, one for the intake, one for the exhaust. Make sure you got enough clearance, that way you don't run in a coil bond. And you check the, what is it? You check the intake 10 degrees before top dead center, and the exhaust 10 degrees after. If I got that mixed around, y'all let me know in the comments, but I believe that's right. Nah, matter of fact, I think I got that switched around because of the cycle of the engine. You check the, well, however it goes. Anyway, 10 degrees before and after top dead center. You better check on that before you go relying on what I told you, because I'm going to go back and recheck it again to make sure I'm right. But yeah, you get the drift, and that's something you definitely don't want to skip whenever you're doing a hard performance build where you went in there changing pistons, high lift cam, all that different stuff. So better to be safe than sorry. They say that 1 ounce of prevention is a whole lot better than a pound. Well, yeah. Anyway, go out here and look at this truck while I'm sitting up here running off at the mouth about stuff I can't get right. Anyway, the other part that I got done on this truck was I got the drop kit and the rotor swapped out on the front. I still got to figure out what I'm gonna do with the calipers, but so let me get you on the other side of this truck. It's still sitting kind of high on one side for whatever reason, but hold on, we get y'all spun around. So that's where we at with the truck. Got that front end brought down quite a bit, and I still got another probably 800 pounds to put in here, because the motor and tranny ain't in it, the radiator, cross member, or nothing. Got all this junk in the back of this truck that I took off of it. You guys doing the brakes on these C10s, the brakes are not all the same. They got a heavy duty and a light duty, and I found that out the hard way this weekend with these spindles. I had accidentally ordered heavy duty rotors, and I had light duty spindles on this truck, but I had never taken one of these apart before, especially not no two-wheel drive truck. So that's how I ended up with all this stuff back here. The heavy duty spindles, the actual spindle part of it where the rotor slides on there at, is actually longer. So if you try and put a heavy duty rotor on a light duty spindle, you won't have enough threads sticking out to engage that cotter pin you got to put in there. So that's the problem that I ran into. I ended up running across a guy that, matter of fact, it was a dude I got the Drop Springs from. Actually had a set of those heavy duty spindles, so I didn't have to send those rotors back. But as you can see, everything is bolted up. I gotta, well, I don't have to, but I'm gonna upgrade the calipers. I'm at least gonna do the dual piston joints. And another thing I ran across was ball joints wasn't no good, which I was already figuring that anyway, with this truck being, I think this truck is 41 years old. So I was already counting on them ball joints being bad. So what I'm gonna end up doing, I ain't quite got it figured out yet. I think I'm gonna end up waiting to change that out because I can move the truck like that. But I am going to order the tubular control arms from Speedway, I believe is the direction I'm gonna go right now. I wanted the QA1s, but QA1s is another $1,000 on top of what Speedway wants. So I'm gonna be cheap right now, get the Speedway joints, and then whenever I get ready to do the QA1 full suspension with the rack and pinion and the upgraded K member or whatever, I'll go in there and do it at that time. But at this point, I just want to get this truck rolling and driving, be able to enjoy this joint. But what I am going to end up doing probably this week is ordering that CVF Racing serpentine setup to go on this truck. That way we can go in there and hear this thing come alive. The piston and valve clearance is one of the last things I got to check on this motor. I still got to make sure that my push rod length is right. I got a set for them, but I'm not sure if they're the right length, being that I got aluminum heads. Once I get the piston and valve clearance checked and make sure that my push rods is the right length, I can pretty much put the motor in the truck, put the motor and tranny in the truck. So that's where I'm at with it so far. I ain't slacking out here. I was out here grinding on a Sunday. So anyway, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. I'm going to check back in with y'all, man. Over and out. Peace.